Hi, my name is Chanel Marshall, and this is my channel, Mindset Hug. And I am going to be doing some hidden pain interviews. And my first interviewee is with Toolika Rani, and she is amazing, which you'll find out throughout the interview. But she is a retired squadron leader in the Indian Air Force. She's a mountaineer, a writer, a research scholar, and a TEDx speaker. And the list goes on. But I will let her tell you more. So I want to introduce Toolika Rani. Hi, Toolika.
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you so much for inviting me on your wonderful channel. So, the title, I would say that it really intrigued me when I first came across it. And now we're together on the mindset hug. That itself is a huge thing for me. So, first of all, I would like to send a very warm hug to you and to everybody who are watching us today.
Thank
Thank you.
you. So the first question I want to ask you is, who is Toolika? Let us know all the good stuff.
Well, Tulika is somebody who is on the quest of self discovery. So I would say that all of us human beings sometimes compartmentalize ourselves into closets, and these closets are very fixed and rigid molds. So I believe that human beings are not just one linear entity, they have multiple facets. And that is why I'm that one person who wants to explore all the areas of my personality, and that is why I went into Indian Air Force, which is a slightly unconventional career for women, not only in India, but I would say all around the world. Thereafter, the story would have ended there, but I went into mountaineering and I joined the Indian Air Force mountaineering team, went on to climb Mount Everest. Now, that's a separate story that in my first attempt, I could not make it to the top. But sometimes life throws us these challenges to make us better, to enable us to explore our own hidden strengths and latent powers. So, that failure on Mount Everest during my first attempt made me a stronger person, made me introspect, and I could find out that there was a grain of fear lurking within me. And now this fear is a very natural phenomena in all of us.
Mhm.
But something wrong happens when this fear stops us from taking that step forward towards the direction that we ought to be in. So I pinpointed that yes, this fear was there in me and I had to overcome it. So I decided to undertake another expedition on Mount Everest on my own during my own leave and with my own expenditure. And that brought me out as a very, very stronger person again in that attempt. I could make it to the summit in 2012 and had the privilege to be amongst one of the very few people in this world who had stood on the top of Mount Everest. But I feel very humbled and very grateful to God for giving me this opportunity and keeping me alive. So, uh, another facet of my personality that I have discovered is public speaking.
Mhm.
As a child, I had always loved to be in the center of my friends. So we would sit in a circle, me being in the center, and discussing anything. It might be news, it might be a story, it might be a novel, or it
Mhm.
might be just an idea. But
Yeah.
I had discovered that I have this flair of public speaking in me, and I did explore it further. So till now, I have delivered more than 85 talks and interviews across the world. And that gives me an opportunity to connect with people from different cultures, different backgrounds. And I realize that all of us human beings might look different, might live in different ways, but we are similar.
Yeah.
Another aspect that I have explored within me is writing.
Mhm.
So, an emotional person perhaps finds his or her best companion in a pen, in books, so on a paper. So that is what has been my companion too. And I have been writing short stories recently. The title is The Fountain of Hope. And this hope is a common thread running across all my short stories because at this difficult time in this world, the most thing that we need is this hope that yes,
Mhm.
we can survive this pandemic. We can survive everything that comes up along with it, all the pains, all the frustrations, all the restrictions that are there, all the losses. And this hope can keep us sailing through this difficult time in that expectation that yes, one day the things are not going to remain the same. Things are going to change as they change in nature. So that is what Tulika is. An Air Force officer, as you told,
Mhm.
um, a mountaineer, a writer, a public speaker, and a research scholar. I'm doing my research on mountaineering again.
Mhm.
The title is Sherpas of Nepal. Because when I was climbing Everest, I did realize that they are the people whose stories need to be brought out in the public. They are the real heroes on Mount Everest. So that is what I'm going to research about and write.
It's just, I'm still just like, okay. It's just like, it blows my mind. Like every time I speak to you, I'm just like, okay, and you're still doing more. So what I wanted to ask was, did you always want to join the Air Force?
I kept exploring myself. So when I was a child, once my teacher asked me what she was asking everybody rather what they want to be,
Mhm.
and I stood up and I said I want to be a singer. So that was way back when I was just a kid. But then we human beings evolve and we find out what inclinations we have,
Mhm.
because every human being has a certain kind of inclination and a unique personality. So I realized that I had this kind of an inclination to travel the world and to interact with different kind of people and be in a team in the capacity of a leader. Yes, I can be a good follower also when the
Mhm.
need arises, but I realized that I have the capacity to become a leader too. And I always wanted to be amongst people who are dynamic, who are supportive, and who remain fit. So that is why armed forces fitted the bill, and I chose Indian Air Force because it again connected me to the sky. And sky has been one of the entity which has always fascinated me because it is limitless, it is boundless, it is vast, and that is how I perceive that a human being should be.
Because I'm just like, because when I saw what you did, it was just like, when I thought back, I was like, when I was younger, I wanted to be an air hostess. And obviously I didn't follow that, but I just was like, it never ever entered my mind to want to be in the armed forces, air forces. So I was like, what was your upbringing like? Did that gear you to anything to make you feel like you can do and achieve anything that you put your mind to? How was your upbringing?
Yes, my upbringing was very liberal, I would say. And I was given the freedom to choose whatever I wanted to do. In addition, I was myself a very headstrong person. I have always been so. So even if there are societal perceptions, I have never believed in them because nobody should be confined to certain kinds of frames that society have woven around us. So
Mhm.
it is all right to have a basic structure, but there shall always be a scope for uniqueness.
Yeah.
So that is what I have believed in, and I have taken my decisions based purely on my inclination, purely on the calling of my heart, because we do have these entities, brain, a heart, and a soul. So I am that one person who has always given most importance to my heart and my soul over my brain at times. So that is how I thought that armed forces suited my personality because I wanted to go out there and make a difference. Yes, everybody is making a difference, a positive one in their own spheres, but perhaps armed forces suited my personality more because I
Mhm.
was an outgoing person. I could connect well with people. I could work in a team. I was adventurous and I wanted to travel and I wanted to always keep moving. So that was what excited me about Air Force and armed forces in general.
It's just, I'm still blown away. I think I'll still be blown away by the time the interview's over. I'm still just like, okay. So, did you find it hard being a female in a male driven profession?
Sometimes initially those perceptions do drop in,
Mhm.
and because till the time a woman does not prove her mark by her performance, I suppose initially she's always perceived through the lens of those societal perceptions which are already entrenched in our minds. But I have realized that once you persist and you perform well,
Mhm.
that perception gradually changes and appreciation comes our way. So it has happened to me also. It's in my Air Force career or
Mhm.
in the field of mountaineering. Both are the fields where a lot of physical fitness is required. So initially, being a woman, people would look up at you as, okay, would she be able to do it?
Yeah.
And then when you actually prove your mark, you do and you perform well, then they come and appreciate you even much more. So that is what I have realized.
So by what you've said, you come across as like you've never like experienced self-doubt. That's what I'm getting, but I'm sure I'm wrong. If you have experienced self-doubt, what was it and how did you overcome it?
I suppose there are those moments in everybody's life when we have self doubt, because however much we talk about confidence, it is not a permanent feature in all of us.
Mhm.
And whenever we look and whenever we undertake a daunting task, a very challenging, big, huge task,
Mhm.
we do feel that self doubt. But like I felt it when I was going to climb Mount Everest on my second attempt.
Mhm.
So though I had prepared for it for 3 years continuously and prepared really, really hard, because I used to work out 7 to 8 hours a day. So even after that much of fitness,
Mhm.
I realized when I was embarking on the expedition whether I'm up to it. There was another moment when I decided to prepare for my civil services examination. So that is the toughest examination in India. And I did feel whether I would be able to do it. But in both these scenarios, Mount Everest, I was able to climb successfully. And the civil services examination, I could clear the state civil services mains, so the prelims as well as mains, both. So could come to a considerable success in this field also. I would say that in all these moments of self doubt, only one thing I have done, and that is to realize that till now in my life, I have attained something. And all of us, for that matter, have attained something in our lives after a challenge. So I try to remind myself that, Tulika, this is you who has done these things already. So that means that you have it in you. It is just a matter of curbing that nagging voice within you and
Mhm.
just keep going. Do whatever you can do. Ultimately, either you will succeed or you will fail, but you
Yeah.
have to take that step and do your best. So, in those moments when I actually question myself, I press that voice down and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Let's do whatever I can do. And we will see the result, whatever happens. Like Bhagavad Gita, we do believe as Indians
Mhm.
in Bhagavad Gita, it is a very sacred book for us. And Gita says that what is within our hands, that is our action. So we shall not worry about the results much. We shall focus on the actions, and the results will follow. Whatever the results are, it will definitely enrich us. So that's what I believe in.
I like that. I like that a lot. Um, have you ever experienced hidden pain? And if so, what was
Yes,
it?
yes, a lot of times. See, pain, I suppose, are of two types. One is physical pain, another is emotional. So, physical pain, yes, we can verbalize, but emotional pains, most of the times, I suppose, we're not able to share also with somebody. And at times, there is nobody who can understand us because all of us are in our own different mindsets. We have those zones in which we live. So even if we try to share with somebody, maybe at that particular time, this person is not in a condition to understand our perspective or our pain. So I have experienced both kind of pains, and I suppose all of us human beings do. Pain is a reality of this world. As Gautam Buddha said, he realized only one thing. He was a prince, but still he realized this, that there was a lot of pain in this world, and everybody is suffering with something or else. So, what is the way out of it? Is the curbing of the desire, perhaps. So, he gave a righteous way of living, which we call the Ashtangic Marg, the eightfold path, in which he talks about right actions, right mindfulness, right thinking, right livelihood. So, everything that we do with a right intention of not harming anybody, just doing it honestly and in the right manner is the way out of this pain, be it the physical pain or be it the emotional pain. So yes, I would say that talking about physical pain, during my periods, on that first day, I have excruciating pain. So it used to so happen that while I was in Indian Air Force, I was on the shift duties, and I would have to request one of my colleagues to change the shift with me so that I can go and have rest. And there was one more thing which was very peculiar. Whenever we had this kind of a issue with somebody, anybody having periods pain, we would say, or the normal terminology used for it was that this officer is medically unfit. So when I went on to this stage, I tried to change it, because having periods and having the pain associated with it is not a medical ailment. It is a very natural phenomena, perhaps. So we shall first remove this stigmatizing sentence that she is medically unfit today. No, we are not medically unfit. We are medically perfectly fine. And that is why we are having our periods at the normal, regular time. It is another thing that a little pain is associated with it. So that kind of empathy is more required. So I tried to change this terminology, and I used to tell my boss also that I'm having periods today, and that is why I have backache, and I want to go home and take a little rest. So that's one thing. Emotional pain, as we talked about, yes, a lot of times we do feel alone as human beings. We do feel dejected, and at those times, all we need is one person who can quietly listen to us, not judging us at that time, not perhaps also trying to give their solutions. Because what I have realized is whenever we try to share our pain with somebody, they, in their genuine good intentions, try to give us a solution.
Yes.
While those solutions may not always be workable for us. And if we do not follow those solutions, again, it worsens the relationship between these two people. But this is to be borne in mind. Whenever somebody is coming up to you, trying to open up with the emotional pain, all that we have to do is to be there, listen to that person with genuine empathy, and just give them a hug if we are in a position to do. Without just being judgmental, without giving them any solutions. Solutions everybody would find as per their own situations. So at that time, just a genuine empathy is required, and a little bit of human warmth, that would do.
It goes a long way. People do underestimate the human like touch, how far that can go. Like even just like a hand on the shoulder, just to know that that connection alone goes a long way. And obviously considering that we've been in like this global pandemic, and that touch has basically been like removed from us, to be able to get that back, like I feel like a lot of people are going to be healed just by someone just saying, I'm here to listen, let me embrace you. Like you do sometimes just feel like your problems kind of melt away for that like short amount of time, and then you come back to reality. But sometimes you just need that, just to be able to just be like, oh, okay, release, and then now I can get on and do what I need to do.
Yes.
It
See,
does go a long way.
there is something called the exchange of energy. Because when we explore human beings, we do realize that we have these magnetic powers within us. So today morning itself, I was listening to it, that our brain and our brain and our heart, these are two organs that generate magnetic fields within us. So all these things, vibrations, energy that we talk about are true. And that is when somebody genuinely touches us in a very empathetic way, or in a loving or caring way, we feel that thing transferred to us, and we feel much more relaxed. Just go and hug a child. How much energy do you feel after that? How much relaxed and happy you feel after that? So even a genuine smile on somebody's face is good enough to lift up our spirits instantly. That is the power of a genuine touch, a genuine smile, and a gesture.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. So what I wanted to ask was, do you take time out to celebrate yourself? And if so, how?
Uh, I haven't much celebrated my achievements yet, because my mother told me one thing, that when one work is achieved and done, you shall move on to another.
Mhm.
So yes, I do bow down in gratitude to God, and also I thank everybody who had been supportive to me when
Mhm.
I was on the quest to that goal. But I don't do this like, yeah, I have
Mhm.
done this or something.
Yeah.
I've never been this kind of a person. I just thank God. I look up and I always remember to say, thank you. We did it. You made me do this. So
Yeah.
thank you for having been with me. And then I feel that, okay, now I would look up to another opportunity, whatever is coming my way. So that's how I am.
Because with me, to celebrate my wins, 'cause I always would associate celebrate with, like you said, like a big to do. And I realized that just something as small as speaking positively to myself, like having a conversation with myself and just being like, Chanel, you smashed that. Like that was absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for the next thing, because if you've done so well with this, you're gonna just like smash the next thing. And like just
Yes,
having that, just that talk, just to sit with myself and have that conversation with myself and just be like, you're wicked, like you're awesome, like this is great. That's me celebrating myself, because and not waiting for somebody else to be like, good job guys. Like I don't need that. I can sit with myself, speak to myself and be like, you did a great job, that was good, acknowledge it, like you said, show gratitude, and then on to the next thing. And I
yes,
realize it doesn't have to
definitely.
be party poppers and streamers.
No, no.
Just with myself, because I'm the one who did it. So yeah, that's how
Yes.
I celebrate. What else? Do you have a self-care routine?
Yes, definitely. That's very, very important. So every morning when I get up, I make sure that I do not straight away look at my phone. That's one thing which, in these times when we are totally digitally bombarded, we have to take care of ourselves.
Mhm.
Because anything coming out from the external world, there would be a lot of negative things also, along with the positives, of course. So I do take care of my mind not getting bogged down by the negative incomings right in the beginning of the day. So what I do is I exercise. So sometimes I do aerobics, sometimes I do yoga. So yoga is a constant routine. And thereafter I do meditate. So after I have connected with myself in the morning, then I go out to the world. So that is one thing. Another is taking care of my diet. So whatever, like our bodies, our mind, and our heart and soul, I do believe that these are very sacred entities for us, very sacred spaces, and we have to take care as to what we are injecting within ourselves, what we are allowing to get in within ourselves on any of these fronts. So that's how I read good. I read good novels or good books, good thoughts, basically. So for my mind, there have to be good thoughts. For my soul, there have to be good people around me. And for my body, yes, there has to be a nutritious, perfect, balanced diet as well as exercise. So that is what is my self care routine. I also take care of associating with people who are positive
Mhm.
and who are driven towards their work and no nonsense attitude, absolutely. Because I do believe that there is a lot of nonsense in this world, but it is up to us to choose what we want to choose out of it. So along with the nonsense, there is also a lot of positivity, a lot of people doing good works and good deeds for others also. So that's what I have the ideal in my life, that I would always pick up the good and leave the bad. So,
Would you describe yourself as a phenomenal woman?
well, I would say all of us are phenomenal.
Mhm.
Not only women, but men, women, everybody who is born on this earth is phenomenal. We have that immense power within us. If we tap into it really, we can do wonders. We're not even using a slightest percentage of the latent strength that we have. So, phenomenal can be categorized in very many terms.
Mhm.
Phenomenal on the social front, phenomenal on the physical front, on the achievements front, phenomenal as a human being.
Mhm.
So, yes, I would say that I can give that tag to myself, but along with myself, I would say that everybody deserves to be phenomenal. We are born with that kind of a capacity within us. We
Mhm.
just need to remove these layers which are woven around us as we grow up.
Mhm.
So there are some kinds of do's and don'ts, code of conducts, some kind of beliefs, self-limiting beliefs also.
Hmm.
So we need to remove these things and we would realize as to what wonders we can achieve in this world.
So that is an awesome answer. I didn't expect that one. um, do you believe that you're living in your purpose? And if so, when did you realize your purpose?
Um, yeah, finding that purpose is very important in life. And I suppose I am still onto a path of self discovery, as I told you in the
Mhm,
beginning, because at particular time, what is important keeps changing. So at times we give importance to our own goals.
mhm,
At other times we put the goals at back burner and we go out to help that one person who needs us the most. So if I define one purpose of my life
mhm.
is to increase the ratio of goodness in this world and leave it a little bit better than I have found it.
Yep.
And the bad will automatically decrease. Because what we waste our time most of the times is criticizing that this is not right, this system is not working, or this situation is not perfect and ideal. But we shall focus more on another thing that we actually want to create. So create that kind of a space within our own life,
Mhm,
and the thing that we do not want will automatically destabilize and will automatically be reduced. So my purpose is to connect with people from all around the world and spread the message of one humanity, because I see and I feel very pained at these kind of distinctions which we have woven around us, distinctions around race, caste, gender, nationalities, place of birth, so on and so on. The list
mhm.
goes on. So human beings are divided on many fronts. This pains me a lot because I have realized doing my mountaineering expeditions in multiple countries, interacting with people from different backgrounds, that human beings have similar pains. As we are talking about pains today, hidden pains, we have similar pains. We have similar aspirations and struggles, and we have similar resources because we live on this same planet Earth. So we are basically one human race. And my purpose of my life is to bring this point forward so that this unnecessary hatred and violence and destruction
Mhm.
can be reduced and we can live in more harmony and more peace.
Totally agree. So, out of the 13 awards that you have received, can you tell me which three stand out and why?
First, the first would be Rani Lakshmi Bai Bravery Award, because it is associated with a woman who all of us here in India really salute in appreciation to her bravery, because she was one woman when, see, we were colonized at one particular time in the history. So she was one person who stood up to defend her territory and her nation during 1857, the first war of independence. So this award is associated with her, Rani Lakshmi Bai Bravery Award, and that comes really close to me. That was given to me by the Uttar Pradesh government, the government of my state. So that's one,
Mhm.
and it feels really a privilege to be associated with her name. She
Yeah.
is an icon of women warriors, women power, and bravery in general. Second would be this aspiring she power award for courage and resilience. So the word itself says aspiring she. I
Mhm,
mean, that symbolizes aspirations of women,
mhm.
and courage and resilience. Of course, these are two characteristics that everybody should have in order to not only survive, but attain their maximum potential. So that's one. Another would be, if I have to think about it, well, outstanding global woman. I don't know to what percentage I would fit into that, but yes, our organization FICCI, that is Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce,
Mhm.
so they had bestowed this award on me, Outstanding Global Woman Award, and that's again very, very prestigious and very close to my heart. I would try to I would try to live up to this title, Outstanding Global Woman. I'm still, I suppose, in the journey towards it. And
Yeah.
I would say that if I can inspire somebody, if I can instill that flicker of hope in somebody's tough times, then I would have done something worthwhile.
Awesome. So I want to ask you, if you had three wishes that could change the world, what would they be and why?
First, as I have already told you, that I believe in one humanity. This is one message that every great man, every great person of every religion that we believe in has said. You take Jesus, you take Buddha, you take Swami Vivekananda, or you take Prophet Muhammad, you take anybody, all
Mm-hmm.
of them must have said this thing in the very first beginning of their sermons or their preachings, that
Mm-hmm.
humanity is one. We have to be more kind and compassionate towards other human beings and other living creatures. So that's one wish, that we all realize it,
Yeah.
that this hatred and these divisions are not going to do us any good. Whenever any pandemic comes, for an example, it does not distinguish between human beings on any basis. So this shows us that we are one human entity. Now,
Mm-hmm.
second is, I would say that if we realize that we are all humans first and gender-wise men and women later on, that would be another thing that can bring a phenomenal change in this world, in the society.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes what happens is that women are restricted, confined because of their gender on many fronts.
Mm-hmm.
And if we start viewing women as human beings also,
Yeah.
who deserve same respect, same dignity, and
Mm-hmm.
equal opportunities to excel, then perhaps this world would be a more equitable place, and more kind and compassionate again.
Yeah.
Third would be the balance between human beings and nature, because human beings have somewhere thought themselves as the masters of nature, and they tried to prove it by going on Mars. One country has just landed on Mars recently
Mm-hmm.
and became the third nation in the world to do so. And we have extracted everything that we could have extracted from this planet Earth at the cost of other living beings.
Yeah.
So I would like that this kind of a perspective, that the planet Earth is only and only for human beings, and we
Mm-hmm.
can extract however much we want from it without replenishing it, shall change. Because this is a circle of give and take. If we
Mm-hmm.
extract, we have to give it time to nurture itself back, to replenish itself back. So we have to understand the natural process more and
Mm-hmm.
live in harmony with the natural elements, not be a destroyer, but be somebody who enables it to flourish further.
100% agree. So, with all that you've accomplished and you've given, what's next for Toolika?
I would write more, because that's one thing which I want to do. I have been writing since childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I write poems and I write short stories. I've told you I write articles,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to write more and more, because I realize that words have immense power.
Mm-hmm.
Any kind of revolution in this world has been preceded by words, by intellect, by ideas. So ideas are something that live for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
So human beings, their physical mortal form goes from this world, but their ideas survive. As a teenager, I used to have a very turbulent time figuring out my role in the society, individual versus the society and their norms. So one book came to my rescue, and that was We the People by Ayn Rand.
Mm-hmm.
And thereafter, I have found that books have been my constant companion. And that is why I want to create more good material in this world, so that someday, whenever somebody wants this kind of a companionship, if there are no human beings, perhaps I can come in that form and give them hope, or give them this companionship, give them some good ideas, give them some kind of a respite in their mental emotional turbulence.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my next purpose in life. But that's all.
Well, it's been amazing speaking to you, and I just want to thank you for being so open, and just being you. Because I know sometimes when it comes to people asking questions, you can kind of be like, oh, I don't know if I want to say this, I want to say that. But like, speaking to you's been an absolute pleasure. We're gonna have more interviews. And I want to thank you again because you sparked this in me. And I want to put credit where credit's due because, like I said, I didn't think that this was going to be part of my channel, but you blessed me with this idea, and I am so grateful. And what you guys need to do, if you want to see more, and even if you've had a hidden pain story yourself and you want to feature on my channel, you can drop me an email. It'll be in the description box below. And you need to like, comment, subscribe, and you need to share because sharing is caring. So I want to say thank you again to Toolika, and thank you for you guys watching in advance. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much, Chanel. Thank you. Good day.